I'm going to show you the exact method that we use to take multiple SaaS companies from $0 a month to more than $30,000 a month in revenue. Some of these methods are pretty simple and some of them are unique. However, today what we're going to dig into is informational articles because that's really where a lot of the competition is happening in both the AI overview space and ChatGPT space. We'll talk about that some more. So, let's get into it. The first thing I want to cover is ChatGPT and AI overviews because this is giving business owners a lot of doubt in SEO. However, let's break this down. When is the last time that you asked ChatGPT or AI overviews to give you a software solution and you went and purchased that software solution? If I put into ChatGPT or even Google top project management software, what it will do is it'll give me a list of the top brands. However, that's not everything I need to know. If you have a long term contract value type of SaaS business and not a free trial type of SaaS business, then absolutely this is not going to work for you either because generally speaking, most of your customers are going to want to investigate who you are, who the team is, what you stand for, what your perspective is on the industry, and what problems that you're solving, which is a heck of a lot more research than just getting a name from ChatGPT. So, generally speaking, this is only really helping customers get a general idea of what's in the market. However, they're still going into Google and investigating further to get a better idea of what they're really going to purchase, which is why we're not concerned about these changes in search. SEO is still working. We got it to work at the end of 2024. Here's a couple charts, and it's going to work in 2025. But you need to know how it's changed, what the tricks are, and what to do. Here's why informational articles are key. They appear in AI overviews more frequently, they appear in ChatGPT search more frequently, and usually they tap into more entities, which are nouns or things that could be companies, people, places, etc., that Google wants to see that show that you have an understanding of the subject matter that its own machines have an understanding of. I'm really kind of calling this fact-based SEO. And what this is a concept that we're taking semantic SEO and entity SEO, which both work very well, and we're packaging it along with helpful content. Prior, you used to be able to write an article. Let's say you were producing an informational piece, so this would be an article, and you were wanting to get it to rank. What you would do is you would write that article, and then you would look for particular relevance keywords and matching keywords, and you would adjust your article, and voila, you would get it to rank. However, now that's not really working any longer. Let's go over what does work. I'm going to show you exactly how I steal AI content directly from Google that's extremely authoritative and taps into all the entities it wants, as well as how to produce an extremely great piece of content that will rank. I'm going to start with the checklist at the top. So the checklist is original reporting. We want to make sure that we are reporting on something original. This is tapping into the information gain patent within Google. And that information gain patent is what's causing AI content to not work. You will not be able to rank AI content. No matter what YouTube video, no matter what anyone is telling you, you will not be able to do it. And the reason why is Google's information gain patent is almost used more than anything now. And it wants original reporting, right? And here's why. Because they want to train their LLM models with the most insights they possibly can. Addressing the question quickly. So we're going to get into this in a moment, but what does addressing the question quickly mean? That means that you need to have an idea of what the user is looking to answer based on a search query, and you need to be able to address that question as quickly as possible towards the top of the article. If you're able to do that, you get some of the user signals that are positive, and that helps with ranking. So we'll get into that in a moment. And then addressing more relevant questions, we'll also talk about that. I've built out a little idea of what the outline will look like here, and I'm going to show you how I built that outline and then using entities within the article. In order to build a really high impact, helpful piece of content that will rank, we need to make sure that we cover the right subject matters that display our expertise in the article itself. But the best method for doing this is not by just reading other articles and copying what they said. it's by using Google itself. Okay, so my favorite method for building a really high impact outline is to actually go into Google itself and to search the term and definitely read the top articles so you get an idea of what they're not discussing. So I'm going to show you how to put it all together. So if I press spacebar, I see some keywords in here. Now, those keywords are also entities like male and female. Those are nouns, those are things, right? So that would be an entity, and that would also have semantic relevance to our thing, which is Nutrafol, which is a medication. Okay. So understanding this information graph is really key. But what I can do here is I can expedite the process because I can just press spacebar and see what people are looking for. I see female, male, I see cancer, I see for women, men. Okay. So male, female. I also see long term, which is interesting, weight loss and acne. So these would be things that I would want to note as essentially questions that I want to research. Note not having AI write it because AI is just going to come up with something. I need to research these and actually do some original reporting based on these questions that people have, right? So this is how I'm going to start to structure it. I would say the common side effects, rare side effects, which addresses the core question, which are what are the side effects very quickly, side effects in men, side effects in women, and then I'm going to start to put in some common questions like maybe is there any issues related to cancer? Is there any issues related to acne? And then if I were to do another one based on what I just did here, it would be issues related to weight loss. We still see these very long articles that are getting a lot of traffic. What we have noted is it's mostly because they're tapping into a lot of entities inside of those long articles rather than just adding words. So let's talk about this introduction paragraph really quickly. Now, at the top of the article, I made sure that I answered the question. And you might be asking yourself, well, didn't he just answer the question here? Well, that's true, I did, but it's okay to do it multiple times. So I put in the answer to the question, which is what the side effects are. And then I went into actually addressing what Nutrafol is. So it's a dietary supplement. I actually know nothing about it, so we're doing this as an experiment. It's a dietary supplement used to promote hair growth and hair health, okay? And that is going to be my introduction paragraph. But I want to show you is how I actually used Google, which is why you're probably here for this video, how I actually used Google to produce this content. So this is the best AI content. Now, why am I suggesting you to do this? Well, because Google is actually telling you through its AI overviews what insights are the most accurate versus, and that's based on its own machine, versus AI content generators and all these other tools, which are doing it based on other models. So this is directly from Google's own information graph, which is why we want to use it. So I wanted to address what is Nutrafol used for. I just put it right into Google. What is Nutrafol used for? And then it gave me the AI overview. And then what I did is I pasted it into my article here. Okay. And then I started reworking it slightly based on what I wanted that introduction paragraph to look like. So I just started doing this to improve hair thickness and volume, right? To reduce hair loss, strengthen hair follicles, and support scalp health. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and start reworking this slightly, right? I'm going to put in both men and women because we noted that these are two entities that users cared about. So we know that Google's machines are going to care about them, men and women. We noticed that from our research that we performed earlier. It is formulated with a blend of natural ingredients to improve hair thickness and volume, to reduce hair loss, hair follicles. Okay, cool. So that is exactly my introduction paragraph right here, just with some changes. Now, is Google going to find that that's AI content? No, it's not, because it's answering the question and it's addressing the subject matter with accuracy, which is what other AI content tools cannot do. Next, as we keep building out this article, I just want you to notice how much information is being packed into a very dense state. That's why you really don't need to worry about word count any longer. What you need to be worrying about is how much information that you're putting within an article, how unique that information is, and how well that's addressing user questions. All right, so I've gone ahead and built out some more of the content, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. So the first thing that we did here is we addressed the common side effects. Once again, here they are. right? We addressed some of the more rare side effects, which we learned are more related to allergic reactions. And we also address the side effects in men and women. But let's get into the actual content itself because that's key. It's not just about writing something, it's about writing the unique insights and the actual knowledge that we're gaining into the article itself, which is why I think it's really fascinating that Google's able to do this. They're able to measure knowledge. So, remember how we said that side effects in men and side effects in women were something that users wanted to know about because we saw it appear in the autocomplete. Well, if I go into Google and I say side effects in men, it just tells me the potential side effects, but there's really not a whole lot here that's telling me what the side effects for men are. Do you see there's no real article that says side effects of Nutrafol for men? So there's just nothing available on the internet about it. Okay, so if I research this, well, how am I going to research this? Because, well, there's just nothing to do research on, right? Well, here's what I found out. I found out that through our work here, which is exactly what we do for our clients, we found out that saw palmetto is actually one of the ingredients in Nutrafol, and that does have varying issues or varying side effects for men and women. So, us addressing saw palmetto was really the key for understanding how we could bring these new insights to the internet, which is information gain, which is what Google's using to train their LLM models, and which is why they're going to give us traffic to this article over everything else. So we found there's a couple of issues related to both men and women. While it's not much, which is a good thing, it has some hormonal impacts on women and it does have some hormonal impacts on men. So I'm not even a doctor. I'm just using the same method that we train a lot of our copywriters to learn how to become experts in subject matters and how they really need to spend the time to become the expert by reading materials, reading research papers, and putting that into the articles because unfortunately, that's just the only way to rank. You can't just write content, you can't just get copywriters anymore. You have to really learn the subject matter and put that into the article and then put it into the article in a correct way. So, makes sense, right? I'm actually bringing new insights to the table here, and that's the way that I did it. And I even did it against all odds of no information being available. Okay, so I've gone ahead and built out the section here on whether Nutrafol has any issues related to cancer. So the first thing that I did was went and looked, and of course, as we found out just through the men and women example, there are no actual studies that would link Nutrafol to cancer, but we wanted to make sure that we double checked that. So we looked up the same thing that we did before, which was saw palmetto, and that's what we found as being one of the active ingredients in Nutrafol, and determined if there was any research studies related to saw palmetto having impact on cancer in a positive or negative way. Sure enough, there was a research study that we linked to here that cited that there actually was a 35,000 patient study that was performed in Western Washington State, and that was being performed on patients with prostate cancer, and they wanted to see if there was an increased risk or a decreased risk. So we highlighted that here. We highlighted the fact that there is not any research studies related to Nutrafol being linked to causing cancer or even just being studied about it. But we did link to some of the cited information on the studies that were performed. So this is why I'm kind of calling this fact-based SEO is because as you've noticed, I've just increased the number of facts that are in this article. And what that's doing is that's just speaking more and more to Google's algorithm and the way that it works now and the way that it's going to work in 2025. So if you're just writing content, that's not going to work. It's not about writing content, it's about beating the machine and being more knowledgeable than the machine, which is what I think Google is evaluating based on its EEAT mechanisms and all sorts of different things. But if you just kind of take a quick scan of our article, it's really starting to come together. It's really turning into a helpful piece of content that you can see is really tapping into what they tell their quality rater guidelines and their quality raters to really look for. Okay, so we were just writing about medical content, but does this method work for other subject matters? Well, yes, it does. And I'm going to show it to you right now. It's actually very simple. Remember, it's all about original reporting. If Google is really trying to make sure that your brain beats the machine, which means that your brain has better knowledge of the subject matter than its machine's brain, that's really what it's measuring. Then you can apply those same principles to pretty much any subject matter. And yes, you can use more of those AI overview content methods that I just showed you to build out parts of your article, but you're still going to have to do that in combination with original research. So let me just show you this real quick. If I go top project management software and I do that same thing, spacebar, I can get some ideas here, right? For small business, for construction, for marketing teams. So I'm just going to put this in here just so we can see, right? For construction. Now, these would be some of the areas that I would want to tap into, meaning that these would be research areas, right? Areas that I'm going to want to spend time into coming up with original insights. Small business, marketing teams, construction. So under construction, I would want to list all of the construction project management tools available. Okay, or project management tools available. And then I would want to include some original insights. What would that be? Pricing, key features, benefits, cons, who it's best for, those types of things. And then ensure I would include like a link to the website. And I would probably do this for each one here. And that's going to take some time. That's for sure. It's going to take some time to produce that. However, based on what I just showed you, you know that it's most likely going to perform pretty well because it's original insights, right? You're going to have to take the time to go through and demo each one of those software tools and actually understand, well, what's their pricing? Because sometimes the pricing is not listed on the website. So even just listing pricing of that software tool is information gain because you are bringing new insights out into the internet. No one's talking about the pricing of that software tool. So I would structure it basically as a software listicle, and then you have your same application of what we just did for the medical industry. And that's your research. I hope you learned something here today. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the video if you can. We have a blog where you can learn more about SEO and our unique approaches to it. We have an 80% hit rate in terms of pages that we rank and our clients that we create success for. And so that's a pretty high rate. However, the way that we do this is just keep things pretty simple, learn about the algorithm, and then learn how we can use that to our advantage. We hope to pass that on to you. So please follow the channel for more, and we hope you have a great day.